Hey, what's up? I'm the Kind Assassin, and I'm going to be doing a series of videos about the Acolyte. And today I'm going to be talking about the first episode called Lost and Found. Before I started the first episode, I went back and watched the trailer because it did come out like 2 or 3 months ago. And I also went back to watch the reaction video that Steve and I did ahead of the show. So from the trailer and my reaction to it, I just really was excited about the new show, the new storyline. It seems like it's a really just well-contained story outside of everything that's happened already in the universe. So it's refreshing to see just new things, new characters, new places. And I did have, questions. Obviously, everyone had questions from that trailer and going into the show. I didn't, read anything or watch any videos before watching the show. I was thinking about it to see kind of what theories are that are out there, but I kind of want to go in blind. So I just watched the first episode. So some of the questions I had were obviously, who is the Acolyte? Who is this Jedi killer? Is it the Acolyte? When does the story take place? It seems like it's before everything happened, right? Before episode 1. So like how far before did that happen? And really, I was just excited to watch it, right? There was a lot of, lightsaber action, and there was this like red saber person that looked super powerful. So it just looked really fun and exciting. Let's get into the episode. So it was called Lost/Found. And one of the questions I had, because in the intro to the episode or the series, it wasn't a crawl, but it was some text to give you some context. So it's taking place 100 years before the rise of the Empire. So not too far in the past, but far enough back that none of the characters that we've seen already or met are alive. Or, obviously Yoda is, but the main ones aren't. So that's cool. Different characters is exciting. Why isn't that showing? I just realized that I had this idea to have a cool type background thing on the TV, and I just realized that it turned off. So I need to figure out how to make it not turn off in the middle of this. Hopefully I can figure it out so I don't have this weird black thing in the back of me. I have a cool graphic. And it sounds like there's a group using the Force for bad or evil purposes, or they're the dark side. And, it's the same theme throughout the whole entire universe, this battle between light and dark, good and bad. Although in the trailer, one of the characters does say it's not about good and evil, it's just about power and who can control the power. So that's another way of looking at it. I just still think it's competing people wanting to rule, right? Whether it is for good or bad purposes. Also in the beginning, in that text part, there was something about seeking revenge. So obviously the Force has been kind of used for dark purposes, revenge, and anything that's evil intent is kind of really poisoning the person that's wielding the Force. Anyway, so it was a good recap at the beginning, just kind of really got you into a really quick, short, succinct. And then we get the opening scene. So we see the hooded figure coming to the town, trying to find the Jedi, and she ends up fighting that character. I don't remember her name, but she is the actress from Matrix fame. And, they duel it out. It's a really, really cool fight scene, right? I think what I really liked about the scene or this really episode or this show, it seems like, I think it looks like the Force is really being used at its most powerful. It seems like, I think from the trailer, I kind of got this too, that the Jedi are at their peak, or they're really in power, or they're kind of prosperous right now. This is a time when they're the most prosperous, or maybe it's the very beginning of their downfall, but they're still cool. Everything's cool. And it just seems like the Force is really strong, right? Because the fight scene is it's just so cool, right? The way the Jedi is using it to, protect herself, to stop the person from attacking There's all the knife scenes, right, where she stops her with the Force. She, takes the knife away with the Force, and so all of that's super cool, right? But uh, she gets killed regardless of all of that, right? Because she did save the bartender guy, and she was distracted for that split second, and then other girl like killed her, and you're like, what the damn? Like she's dead already, just within the first 5 minutes, because that character seemed like super important. She was in the trailer. She's a big actress, so I'm like, what the? So I was really confused about that, and also I was hoping like maybe is this a dream or is this the end? And then they're going to go like back in time to how this all came to be, or I don't know. I just was hoping that this wasn't the end of her because she looked like a cool character. So anyway, so that all happens and she ends up dying. There is one part where she says you, like she questioned, like, oh, it's you, and so it seems like she knows her. So I was like, oh, is that a former Jedi, that's attacking her, or like what's the backstory there? So after that whole fight scene, we go to a ship and the girl is on the ship. She wakes up. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So now she's, left that planet, left the girl dead, came over here. She's home. But then she has different clothes on. She seems different, like her demeanor. And so I thought, oh, maybe this is before, like in the beginning, like it's her introduction as a character. And then we're going to go to see how she ended up evil. So that's what I first thought. So anyway, so she's on the ship and then she has a droid, which is super cute, Pip. And Steve actually said that guaranteed that droid is going to be everywhere in Disneyland tomorrow. And we're going to go to Disneyland tomorrow. So maybe we'll come across Pip. Anyways, she, does her thing in her, her room. And then the guy comes, like her homeboy, her, co-worker, whatever. And he's like, where were you? She's like, it's none of your business what I do on my day off. Da, da, da. Then they go and they start repairing the ship. And then the Jedi come and they're looking for somebody. And it happens to be they're looking for someone who killed the Jedi. So then you're like, oh, so this is like happening in real time. It's not flashback or flash forward or anything. Like this is happening. So that girl is really done. So that sucks. So anyways, then they are like, hey, did you kill so-and-so? Where were you? Da-da-da. The bartender's there. That's her. That's her.
That's her.
So she's like, I didn't do it. I don't know what you're talking about. But they still arrest her and take her. Also during this time, when they're asking her questions, you come to find out that she was a Jedi, or she was in the Jedi. She was there when she was 8 years old. And then she decided to leave, right? And I think the lady that died was her master, or maybe just brought her into the Jedi. So there's definitely history there. So more to, find out about that later. So they arrest her and then they take her on like the prison ship, which I think was dumb that there was only droids. There wasn't a person or an alien thing or whatever that was really going to be looking out to make sure nothing happened. It was just droids and that other robot droid thing. And the prisoners escape, right? They control, like they take over the droids and they escape. And so that's kind of dumb. But obviously, plot device, you had to, have something happen for her to escape. So she escapes. She lands on a deserted planet. And then she sees a little girl. And the little girl like walked weird away from her. Like she just kind of had this weird walk. And I'm like, wait a minute, this seems like it's a vision, right? It doesn't seem like it's really happening. And so she's chasing her, and then come to find out, which I actually thought this, not just because I saw it in the show, but I actually thought this a little bit beforehand, like maybe this chick has a sister or a twin or something where the twin is the one that killed the other lady. And yes, she does have a twin. So back in the day, there was something happened on their home planet. Everyone died. And Osha, so that's the one that's the good person, the good twin, was saved and everyone else died. So seems to be that the bad evil sister is probably the Acolyte. And she obviously said in the very beginning, like, I'm here to kill you, I want revenge. So something happened on the planet during the fire when her old master, I don't know his name, and the other guy and the girl were on the ship to go find her after she crashed, find Osha. The girl was like, hey, like, who is this Padawan? What's her story? What's the background? And he's like, yeah, her sister set fire that killed everybody. And Osha was the only one that survived and we saved her. And the guy was like, it's not in her file though. Like maybe so he had the same like, oh, maybe the twin, the sister is the one that killed the lady. But then the guy was like, no, she's dead. So that seemed kind of fishy. Like there's more to that story too. So obviously we're going to find out. But anyway, so, they go to the planet, they see Osha. She's like, I didn't do it. And she tells her old master, like, May is alive.
May is alive.
I believe you.
And he says, I believe you, which kind of seemed fishy the way he said it too. Like, I don't know if I trust this guy. But anyway, so, they're like, let's go. So they all go. And then at the very end, the closing scene kind of also gave you some more information about the whole acolytes and the evil people and the bad people. And the guy with the red saber makes a really brief appearance. And it seems like he has a plan and he's recruiting people and kind of has his own teachings. But his teachings are how to kill the Jedi, destroy them. They have a dream that not everybody agrees with. Obviously, he doesn't agree with it. And he's recruiting people to help basically destroy them. And at the very end, he says, acolytes kill without weapons because weapons don't affect Jedi, right? You can't kill them with steel or with lasers, right? They're really powerful. So you have to kill the dream. And that was it.
An acolyte kills without a weapon. An acolyte kills the dream.
And then during that scene, May is like walking towards him. So all in all, I really like this episode. I'm really excited to keep watching the rest of the show or the series because it seems like very tight storytelling, right? And they don't have to, because it's set so far in the past, well, not so far, but sort of far in the past, and because they're all new characters, there's not this, I think, forced continuation of all of the other stories that have already been told. So they can kind of do their own thing, the writers and the producers and everything. So it just feels really refreshing, good, just exciting. So I'm going to watch the second episode now because I don't want to watch the two together, even though we're released together, because I feel like I would confuse myself. So I'm going to watch the second one now and then do a video about that. And then next week, I'll watch the third one and so on and so forth. So hopefully you follow along. Let me know what you think about the show. Let me know if you have any questions or any thoughts that I didn't, think about, realize. And hopefully you come back next time for the second episode. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.